Right, well, what's happening at the bottom of the Premier League? The pressure on West Ham and Spurs remains tonight. Spurs drew 1-1 with Leeds United. The gap between Spurs and West Ham is just 2 points, and each of them has 2 games left. Spurs still have to play Chelsea, which could be significant. West Ham go to Newcastle on Sunday and then have Leeds at home. Spurs go to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea won't do them any favours. And then they're at home to Everton on the final day. Right, let's get the thoughts of Chris Cowlin. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Tony.
Hi, mate. And Heidi Haig's here as well, big Leeds United fan who's on the coach going home after watching the match. Hello, Heidi. Hello, Heidi.
Hello.
Hi, hello. We are staying up. I said we are. Chris, how are you feeling tonight?
Pretty disappointed, actually, Tony. It was a huge opportunity for us to go 4 points above West Ham and really put the pressure on them going to Newcastle away on Sunday. And Spurs needed to win. The fans were absolutely exceptional, as they were last week at Villa Park. A really good performance away at Villa Park last week. And, a lot of people felt really confident that Spurs were going to win this game tonight. But, of course, Leeds are one of the most informed sides. They might be down there, not too far away from us. But, they're an informed side at the moment. It was a real battle. But Spurs needed to deliver and we needed to get the 3 points. But you could see it as a positive also because Kinsey made a great save at the end. It was nice to see Maddison back. So we've got to take the positives. But as you mentioned, we've got to go to Chelsea. We've only won once there in the last 36 years. So that's a worrying fixture for us. And then, of course, Everton at home. So I think it's going to go down to the final day of the season. But, I live in hope that Spurs can get this done.
Yeah, stay there, Chris, if you will. Heidi, hello again. You're on the coach going on. Where are you, Heidi, just so we get a sense of how far you've got from London?
We haven't got anywhere. We've only just had our last stragglers on the coach because the disabled, it's parked so far away. Our disabled have a struggle to get back to the coaches, so we're only just leaving.
You've got a long you've got a long night here, but you won't mind. You're staying up. You've been exceptional this season, Heidi. In a sense, I know you're fifth bottom or whatever, but there was no guarantee Leeds United were going to stay up.
Like I say, until we were mathematically certain, I won't take anything for granted. But it was great to go into that game knowing that we'd no pressure on us. But our tactics in the first half didn't do my blood pressure any good, I'll be honest. I hate playing so deep. And we were inviting Spurs to attack us. But we rallied round and we got a great point. But 15 minutes extra time, come on, where's all that come from?
Yeah.
We don't need things like that. That's ridiculous.
Not when you've got to get home and you're parked miles away from the stadium, I suppose. What about next season, Heidi? Daniel Farke, can he keep you up again?
Well, we've got to stay. We've got to keep that stability, and we've got to build on what we've got. And but the main thing is we don't pay silly money for players. We need to strengthen, but they've got to have that right ethos to play for us. They've got to come and want to play for that shirt, play for the fans, and play for that club. And we've got a great team spirit there, and we've got to keep that. I don't want to pay silly money for them, so.
Well, look, let's see how next season pans out. You can relax on the way home, Heidi. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Yeah.
See you later. Chris, we've spoken.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. Chris, we've spoken. That's an example of what fans do for their team, by the way, Chris, isn't it? I know you're a loyal Spurs fan, but they travel all over the country, get home at the early hours of the morning. You want a bit of effort from your players. You must be having that, though, now. The manager's got some fighting to him, hasn't he, the new manager?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we've spoken a number of times during the course of this season, and Thomas Frank, Igor Tudor, and now Roberto De Zerbi. And one positive, what I would say, is the last 4 games, including tonight, we've got 8 points, and they are fighting for Roberto De Zerbi. He has changed things, and he has instilled belief and confidence into this playing group. So that is what gives me the hope and belief. But like I said to you earlier on in the season, Thomas Frank should have gone earlier. We wasted 44 days on Igor Tudor, but you're absolutely right. Roberto De Zerbi deserves full credit for getting some of the effort out of these players because they weren't delivering throughout the season. But these last few games, we're showing that grit and determination. But these 2 next games, as we mentioned, Chelsea away, Everton at home, we have to deliver. We have to deliver for the future of this football club. Spurs can't go down.
Well, they can, and it's not so bad down there. Chris, I speak from experience.
No, No, absolutely not. When I look at that championship table, I think there's only about 4 clubs that are not an ex-Premier League team. And, the amount of ex-Premier League teams down there, I think a lot of people always feel confident that people will come back up, and it doesn't always work out like that. But, if Spurs do get over the line, transfer windows need to be exceptional, because we can't be in this position again. We finished 17th last year. We're in 17th now. And, it's going to be a very nervous last couple of weeks of the season. And, Newcastle away for West Ham on Sunday. I'm sure all of our eyes will be on that game, hoping for the Magpies, getting a victory there.
Well, we will see. Chris, I'm sure we'll speak again before the end of the season. Keep on hoping, I suppose, is the message. Thanks very much for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks, Tony. Cheers.
Cheers. Chris Cowlin there. There was a big game in the Championship tonight as well, in the playoff semi-final second leg. Hull City won 2-0 at Millwall. We will speak to a Hull City fan. Hopefully we'll still speak to the Millwall fan. I'm not sure I'd come on if that was me, to be fair, but we'll see what happens after we've had the latest 5 Live news, just gone 11 o'clock.